Guys, we are back again, and after that last cane I have got a lot of black and white little doodads that were going with the other one that I have left over. So I thought it would be fun to just use them all into a cane. Now this is one slice of that cane that I didn't put in the flower. I don't know if I'm going to use that or not, but I set it there anyways. So I thought I'd put a little splash of red in the middle of this one, or somewhere in there. So I'm just going to make a log. And this is a little hard. I don't want to run red through the pasta machine and then run white. So I'm going to do this with my hand for now. And that way, I don't mess up the pasta machine. I may end up having to grab a little more red though. So I took all the canes that were left over yesterday and I brought them all down to about 1.5 inches. So that's one thing, you get this on you. And this has got now a little red in it because of whatever's on my fingers. That is the disadvantage of working with red. It gets over everything. And I'm just made a log. As you can see, oh, I don't know how I cut that off so far off, but and I missed a little bit there. So we're just going to cover that. I'm not even going to worry about that side because it's going to be cut off anyways. Okay, and then we're going to do a number 3. This is what I've wrapped everything with, is a number 3. And I'm hoping that this will be enough. And I'm going to run this through the pasta machine on a completely different side that I did with the white. So hopefully we can keep the red off the white still. I think I'm going to need one more wrap of white. Maybe one more wrap of red. So I'm definitely going to have to pull a little bit more out. So let me grab some more red. Okay. I don't use red very much in any of my projects. It's not one of my go-to colors or one of my favorite colors. But I don't mind it black or mixed with black and white. So my sister-in-law, who's doing my taxes, and me decided to take a break. We were changing categories and moving things around because the way I had it set up was a little different than last year. And after a while, I don't know, I get real fed up when I work with numbers. I could never be an accountant, ever. And it's funny because I used to work in a vault in a department store. And that's all I did was count money, reconcile cash registers, make the deposits, fill out the paperwork, and I loved that. But yeah, I'm not a really big fan of accounting in general. So I leave that to her. And next year she wants me to do the taxes. And I told her yesterday, this is why I don't. It's just, I get so frustrated. So I am just glad that it is over. Well, almost over. And then I can get back into doing things I need to do, like life and making videos and designing new cutters. I have some new ones that I've got going right now. I don't have them up yet. I also have a box for cornstarch. Although I like my sock that I fill it up with, which I think you've seen it in past videos. Yeah, I didn't do a really good job wrapping, so sorry guys. I'm a little off today, or scattered. I'm just playing, basically, not really paying attention. So I fill up a sock with cornstarch and then I just tap it. But every time, if I leave it here or leave it here, if I don't put it right where it belongs, then I've got cornstarch everywhere. So I actually made me a box. This isn't the one I'm using. I made 3 different sizes. I can show this one to you. I don't know where the thing goes that belongs there. This is the one I was using. And I like it because you really don't need cornstarch on the big cutters. But I've been told that I should make it a little bigger for people. So that's what I'm doing. But anyways, you'll put your cornstarch in there. And you got that little thing right there. And that way you just do that. Tap off the excess. There's your cornstarch. So I've been looking at prices right now of what people are charging for them. And I'm just going to go off of that to make my final price. So I couldn't tell you what it is offhand, but I'm trying to keep competitive with everybody else. But these literally take over 3 hours to print. So it's not something I can whip out really quick. So I will probably make a couple of them, like my rollers, and have them just a few in stock at a time. Because, you know, I like to get my orders out the same day. Call me the Polymer Clay Cutter Amazon. Just because I hate waiting, and I know everybody else does too. Okay, so this is the last wrap we're going to do on this. And then we'll make some little red plugs. Just, well, not even a plug, just a log. And that kind of stretched out. That was perfect until I stretched it. So now I'm going to need to cut a little bit off. And yeah, wrong side of the blade. Okay. And yes, we got a little bit missing right here. And right there. Okay, so we're going to move this aside. And I'm going to make a log out of this. And I was thinking of taking this and making like a checkerboard with what's left. Okay, so that's a log that we can use somewhere if we need a little bit more red. And we got a couple air bubbles in here. I keep squishing it, make sure that I've got it all out of there. Okay. It's not going to be a huge cane, although with as much as I have, it could get pretty big. And this will probably end up being a square cane. We'll see what it looks like when I get it set up. cold outside. I don't know if we're expecting rain. I know the snow level's down pretty low tomorrow night. So I don't know if we're going to get a little bit of snow by morning. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3. I don't know if I want to make it smaller, because this would be like a nice point of reference for the red. I gotta get rid of this blade. So I'm just gonna go 1.5 on this one. And then these I might use and make them a little smaller. Okay. So there's that. Then we have this one. Getting red all over the place. And it's Wednesday. I don't know if the pool guy's gonna show up. So as usual, you might hear Jake barking when he finally gets here. As you can see, this is turning slightly pink. Grab some alcohol here. Oh, and I wonder why my hands are always so dry. Probably because I do that with the alcohol a lot. Alright. But hopefully that'll keep the red from turning this pink. You won't see it, but by the time it hits the red and the black, it's going to be a mess anyways. And I'm going to try and get 3 pieces out of this one. If I can do 4, I might do 4. Realize all the air bubbles I have. Yep, looks like I'm going to be able to get 4 out of this. And the reason it's flapping is because of the air bubbles. So, I'll get all that off. Okay. So, go 1.5, a 3, and a 4.5. Okay. Alrighty, so now we just have this. Oh, and we have this that was left over from something we made the other day. So that we're going to incorporate. We might make a little brain out of this one, a little brain cane. And throw that in there too. So let's see how I do with making some kind of a checkerboard. So the first thing I'm going to do is just even all this out. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it because I don't know if I have enough. I've only printed out my little market tools that I made at a 3. But I don't think I want a 3 on this. I think I want a 5. So I have no choice but to use this old one. Okay, so trying to think of which side I want to cut off of. Probably this one. Okay. So there's the 5. It looks like we can make 4. Maybe 3. Okay. Alright, I just want to make sure this is even. I'm going to switch blades, see if this one's any better. Oop, that one got a little thicker. But that's okay. And I know what I'm trying to do, but I don't. I think I made this wrong for a checkerboard. Maybe. If I put the white right there. Oh, that's strange. Look at that. Okay. So we want that on the black. And then the same with this. We want the white with the black. Okay. And you can tell that this one's just a little thicker. And then we're going to come back up like that. And we're just going to have to cut off those ends. Oh, it's not the greatest checkerboard, but it is what it is. Yikes. Alright, and I used the wrong side of the blade. That's why it looks so blurry. But I'm not really impressed with this. We'll use it, maybe. You know, it's a cane. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, we're just going to set that anywhere right here. Alright, so let's get this to about a 1.5 inch. Make it more of a square. So we're about 3/4 of an inch on that side. Yeah, we're We are about right here. Okay. So that is what we've got. No, I don't want the red. I don't want that solid red. What are you barking at? I got Jake just growling over here, and I don't know what he hears. Okay. Okay, so now we're kind of staring, trying to figure out how I want this. Because if I make it in a square, I'm not going to do anything, just reduce it and leave it alone. Or you can literally make it into a triangle, right? Reduce it, cut it in half, put it together, and then kind of make a square out of that. Okay, I just want it to be a little askew, you know what I mean? I don't want it all set perfectly straight. I want it to look weird, I guess is what I'm saying. So kind of like that. So it's not like, I don't want everything symmetrical and even and all of that stuff. So we're going to take this. I don't know if I want to wrap any of this black around this. I think we may just leave it alone. So I know a lot of you don't make canes at all. You just like to watch. But it's really simple. I mean, just grab some colors that you want. And don't really worry about where you're placing it. You know, I mean, on some, I guess you should. But everything else is just, I don't know, it's just literally just moving everything around and placing everything here and there, and I just don't like that black. I hear a noise. Hold on a second, guys. Okay, pool guy just showed up. Jake is right here by the door, so hopefully he won't see him. But no, again, I don't know what any of my canes are going to look like until they're done. And you've seen my canes. Some have come out really good, but then there are those that just like didn't quite work. So you're going to get that either way. And you guys know the story that I had started with clay like a long time ago, but I didn't start. I had the equipment. I had all the clay. I didn't have a pasta machine, I don't think. But I did have the clay and the blades and stuff like that. And I was so intimidated of even trying to do this that my daughter-in-law's sister. I don't know. She was getting ready to do something for the county fair, or the city fair that we've got out here. And she needed to she needed to make something. I don't remember what she was making, but she wanted to use clay for accessories. So she came over and I gave her some clay, and then I literally gave her everything. I mean, I had given her, this was way before I made cutters. I gave her all the cutters that I had. I just, you know what, here, take it. They're just sitting here. I don't use them. Have fun with them. And she basically took them all. And then what? 2 years later, I get back to wanting to try, and I order it again. And then that time I said, nope, I am not going to be intimidated. I'm just going to do it. And I did, and it didn't stop from them. It definitely helps keep your sanity when life goes so wrong. And we all know that right now, life seems to be a little tough. Okay, so I have 2 of these. This is a little different because of it being askew. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy, make it long so I can bend it around the corner here. So kind of coming off like that. Okay, because we can do that, right? We can do anything we want. Okay. So now I got this guy. Do I have one more of these? Would be really nice to find. Now, if I want to incorporate this flower, I doubt I will. I think it'll throw it off. You know? But I mean, literally, you can add the flower anywhere. But I'm not going to do it. I don't know why. I'm just not going to do it. Okay. So now I'm thinking to make this like this, and then cut it in half and then make it into 2 pieces. But I do want this little brain cane. Okay, so I'm gonna find some white here. Thought I had some. Okay, oops, got a little bit of red on this, and I don't want this to get in there, because yes, it'll end up being pink. And instead of wasting all my time taking this out, I should have just cut that piece out. Well, it actually worked. Okay. Alright, so we're going to make this into a log. I haven't made one of these in a long time. And I do have more red. So I don't know if I want one red out of all of it, or if I want to throw in a couple more little pieces. I may do that. And I don't have a whole lot of this. So we're going to make this kind of small. And I may just do 3. Okay. Wow. The boy heard it, didn't he? Don't know how he managed. Well, this isn't quite a brain crane, but a brain cane. Just wasn't long enough to do it, but that's okay. Alright guys, I'm going to just take a 5-second break. There weren't any leaves on the pool, so he's not going to be here for long. But while he's barking, I'm going to just back away for a minute. Okay, I'll be right back. Alrighty guys, we're all clear on the dog. He's just a happy dog, and he's a protector, so I can't get mad at him for doing what he's supposed to be doing. I don't know how I'm going to make this yet. Trying to keep one of these a little big, but I think I'm just going to use it all. It sure as heck wasn't a whole lot of clay that I used, so we're just going to do it. Or, and see, this is where my mind changes all the time. I can just make a red log and only have the bullseye as like a focal point. Because if I add more bullseye, I don't know. I think the bullseye might actually look good just by setting it right there. So we're going to cut this down anyways. And it doesn't have to be square. We're going to go about, I'm going to cut it about right there. That way I've got a big one for something else, but I can also flatten it. I don't know how this is going to look. I wasn't planning on flattening it, but it might give a little bit of shape to this instead of all circles that are sitting up there on top. Okay, so we're going to go to 3 inches. All right, try and make this nice and even. Okay. Alrighty, let's see what we got here. I don't know if I want this on the bottom. Okay, well, this is that piece that we had. Looks like this is going to be a triangle instead of a square, right? Do I know what I'm doing? Absolutely not, guys. That's the fun and the not so fun thing about this. Because if I use those here, I'm going to have to fill that up. Okay. Let me get rid of this for a minute. See if I want to do that way. And I do still have 2 more of these. And I'd like to put that in between these 2 black. And these are all going to get squished. So that's the biggest thing that I'm worried about, is they're all going to get squished. See, canes like this, to me, I like it better when I don't have to think. They seem to turn out a lot better that way. But unfortunately, I get so analytical that I think that's why I change so many times. And I may not like this, so I may end up changing it again, right? Actually, I don't like the red there. I kind of like it straight black. And I don't want all that red in there. So I'm looking around to see what I've got from yesterday that was left over. And look at this. I just found these pieces right here. They're only 1 inch. Oh, I've got a couple of them here. Okay, well that would give me my triangle right there. I got nothing else to use these with. Wow, she's just having a field day today. I went out there and told him to stop, and the mailman just happened to be there. And unfortunately, I have no orders that were ready. So I'm kind of upset about that, but not a whole lot I can do. See, I don't want those 2 together. That's a lot of stripes, you know what I mean? So maybe I can just do what I've got. And just leave it like that. Okay, so I think that's probably what we're going to do. Is we're just going to squish all this together. And leave it alone. Because if I do another one of these, it's going to be way too much red. Alright, we're going to leave it alone, guys. That's it. So this is what we ended up with. We only got a couple little pieces left. But I honestly don't know if I need them. I think it might be too much. I mean, we got them here. We only have them down there. Alright, let's just try. See if we can get rid of this one. I think this one's going to be a little too small, but we'll see. And we're going to flatten this guy too. Well, I can get this to be 1.5 inches, and I can use this as well. Here, I'm going to move this down. So if I can get this just a little bigger. I don't know if you can... Makita's in here now, and she's just moaning. I'm sure you can hear her. She's pretty loud. They can hear you, Makita. Yeah, I may not even use this. I don't know yet. Okay, as you can see, it's a little different. Yikes. I feel like there's got to be something that needs to go right here. But I honestly don't know what. That might work. I love being able to get pieces that I don't need and fill them up like this. It just makes it so nice. So I think I'm going to use these. But I'm going to wrap them in some black. Probably at a number 5. They're so thin, maybe I'll go a number 7, which is really long, right? The great thing about it is it'll keep these pieces together. I don't know if I cut right there or not. Okay, let's go ahead and do this one now. Okay, that'll hold it together. That's 1.5 inches. I'm going to stretch that out a little longer. Oh my goodness. Bandit was a barker, but I don't think he barked as much as this one does. Okay, so that's it. So we are going to go ahead and reduce this into a manageable size. And then I got a debate. I want this square. I didn't want it a kaleidoscope. Whether I change my mind, I don't know, but I really wanted a square one. So I'm going to go ahead and reduce this a little bit, and then I'll come back, and then we'll decide whether we do, how do I want to put this? So if I make a square, I like to cut them in half and then reduce it again, and that would be having 2 of these next to each other. Gosh. All right, let me reduce, and then I'll figure out what the heck I'm going to do. Let me get this to at least, what do we got, 3 inches? Yeah, let me at least get it to 3 inches. We'll take a look at it, and we'll see what we can do with it. So I'll be back. Okay, guys, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 inches right now. We're not going to cut it in half just yet. So I'm going to cut off all the icky part on one side here. Okay, so there is our cane so far. Now, I can turn this into a square like that. Okay, and basically I would literally just form it back into a square. Okay, that's what I mean when I say that I'm putting the butt ends together. So basically you're going to slice it, right? And then you're going to turn it around and put it against the back. Okay, so you're literally going to have, this is a square, and you'll have them in 4s. Okay, that wouldn't be too bad of a cane. I kind of like that. And I haven't done a square in a long time. So there's that. And then there's the other part where I can turn this into a kaleidoscope, right? And it would look like this all the way around. I mean, you kind of get an idea. I know it's really hard to see. So I could have that as the center, or no, can't do it that way, right? Or you can make that the outside and make these little flowers your center. Oh my goodness. It's really tough sometimes because you're trying to figure out how you want to do this. And it's weird because they're all triangles, right? So, I mean, I can literally do that as well. And take this and turn it, you know what I mean, into a square. And then these flowers will now become my center. I wonder if I can do this really quick. Well, that didn't turn out really well. And I got holes on this side. So I don't know if I'll be able to do this, but if this ends up being a square, You know what? I'm going to keep it as a square because I told myself I have no squares. And these are great for like pillow beads and stuff like that. And I've got a lot of kaleidoscope ones. So if I cut off the bad part, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if I can get 4 inches out of this. All right, we're going to stretch this out just a little bit. We got one good side over here. It's crazy. It's just art. And the decisions that come with it is like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. There's something that I keep hitting. Okay, so now we're back. Okay, so now we have about 4 inches. So now, since we're making it a square, and again, keep forgetting, it's just clay. If you want to make another one, you can. Okay, so if I cut it like that, which it doesn't really matter which side it's on, right? And I turn this into a square, which would be like this and like this, which will keep the flowers together to where they can connect, because we're going to need 4 of them. All right. Yeah, I'm a visual person. I definitely need the visual of this to figure out where I'm going to put this. Okay, so now we have 4. I can't do that one, can I? Well, I can if I do this. Ah, maybe not. And I know I'm making it look like a kaleidoscope. Just work with me here. That would be such a nice kaleidoscope cane. But I don't want to do it. Alright, so if I make this a square, right? All the flowers are basically in the corner, but they'll also be in the center, and I think those would look really cool as a center. Okay, now if I do it this way, same thing. I'm going to have those flowers in the corner and on the bottom right there. And if I do it this way, literally, I will have, regardless, the way I put those flowers in, they're going to be on the corner. So that's cool. I don't like this. So we're not going to do that one. And then this one and this one is basically going to be the same, except these are on the corner. And by doing it this way, they're still on the corner. Oh my goodness, Irene. I just don't like those two together. So now I just want to decide whether I want those two reds right there together. Okay, hold on a minute. Because it doesn't matter, those are all going to be the same. All right. So it's going to end up being like this and like this. And I'm going to put 3 of them next to it. You wouldn't think it would be so much to have to look at, but it is. So I've either got the round shapes right here. Oh, that one I decided was no. So really, that's the only way I can do it. Alrighty, guys, so this is what we're going for. Okay. See, I just don't like how that doesn't fit as well as this side. I got a nice, better fit going this way. So that's the one I'm going to do. Okay. So now I will hit pause again. And what we're going to do is square this. So I'll show you how I square a triangle cane. I'm sure you've seen this before, but in case you haven't, you're going to take one side and then the catacorner side right there. And you're just going to push. You come over here and you're going to push them in. And you're going to push them in and push them in. Okay, that's how I usually get started. Then I put it here. And if it's facing down that way, you want to push it up. Okay, if it's facing up towards you, you want to push it down. Okay, so you're just kind of going back and forth, rocking it to get that square shape. It doesn't take that long. It's just a little time consuming. Okay. All right, so now we have our square. So you could literally leave it alone like this, but it just doesn't, it looks like a piece, right? It doesn't look like a whole pattern. It just looks like one piece of the puzzle. Okay, and that's where we come in, and now we're going to make 4 pieces to this. Okay, so if I don't want to do 1 inch because I end up with a lot of waste, so I'm going to at least start with 1.5. So basically we need 6 inches. Okay, so while I do that, I'm going to let you go. Go get something to drink. Go throw that other load of laundry in the wash, which I'm about to do. And then we'll come back, do the cuts, and show you the final cane. All right, we'll be right back. Alrighty, guys, so we're a little over 6 inches here. So we're going to cut off some of these bad pieces right here. Doesn't look bad, but I did lose a little bit of that flower shape. Okay, we'll get a little hole in here, so I'm going to put that on the end. And we got a little bit of leeway to cut. Yeah, there's just something right in the center that it keeps catching on, but there's nothing in there. So I'm not quite sure why that's doing that. All right, so now the fun part, right? It's still a little big. Okay. And there is our cane. So now the fun part. figuring out how we want these together. So we're going to put them in one by one. Okay, and now it's seamless, so it'll all match up when you want to add more if you do. Okay, so we have that. I definitely don't like that. Okay, so I had it like this, right? And if I do that, it's going to be the exact same thing, right? Pretty much. So I could take these two flowers like this. And that's the taller ones. That's the ones that got a little bit out of shape on me. And I can put that together. Toughest part is making the decision. Or, again, it was that one. But I just don't like the center on that one at all. So it comes down to this in the middle like that. Or the black in the middle. And I'm kind of pointing towards the black in the middle for some reason. I think I like the black in the middle more than all of that red right in the middle. So I think this is what we're going to do. So now, it's basically making sure you are all lined up. Okay. Same with this guy. Just make sure you're lined up from top to bottom. And one of these pieces is a tad bit smaller than the other one. Okay, so that's why it probably looks a little bit off, is because one side's a little bigger. Not as in cane, it's just a little longer when I cut it. I didn't quite cut it evenly, but all of these are lining up perfectly. Alrighty, so we are going to now reduce this. Now, if I was a bigger caner maker, I would be able to do this and make two different patterns. So I could have had that red in the middle and then this one. But I don't work real big. And I don't know how small I want to get this. And as you can tell, I'm working from the center. But if you lay it on your table and get it to at least a manageable size, then you won't have any waste, because that thing kind of holds it together. So it doesn't really sink in too much. And I turn it over and I just keep going. It's a little harder if you've got shoulder issues. So you might hear me breathe a little bit. But as you can see how we have no sinking in on the sides. So that just helps cut down on waste quite a bit. And we started at 1.5. Takes a little longer, but it kind of helps. Now, I don't know what size you guys all use for your stuff. I'm mostly jewelry. I don't really make brooches and stuff like that. So, I don't leave them this big. And that's the thing about selling these, is I never know what size everybody's looking for. The flowers are easy, because those are usually just components that everybody's going to put in, like a veneer or something. But when you make a kaleidoscope, so many people have so many ideas for them. That it's hard to know where I need to stop. Okay, so we're just coming in here and alrighty. So I'm going to do the other side really quick. And then we're going to cut a strip off. Show you what it looks like. And then I'll probably leave it this size until I figure out what I want to do with it. But if I make my pillow beads, I don't go any bigger than 1 inch, because they usually go in a bracelet. And you don't want big beads. The other thing you can do with this is wrap it around a tube. And yes, you can make your tube beads. You can make bicones. And right now we're about 1 1/4. Okay, so we're just gonna straighten this out a little bit, and then I'm going to cut into it. So I'm going to take our handy dandy tools right here. See, it doesn't quite fit the top, but it will as I move around. Okay. Okay. And that should do it. So let's cut a little strip off of the end here. That's waste anyways. Okay, and there's our cane. Now, as you can see though, by putting them together, you will literally be able to have those in the center. So you can have them both way. So if you use them once, you can use them twice like that. I don't want to cut any more off of it, but there you go. So cut out 4 pieces and you're done. So that's it for the day, guys. That's just another little cane. I will probably take this down about, oh, I don't know, maybe another 1/4 inch. Maybe even 1/2 inch. I'm not sure. Especially if I want to do a veneer, then I would take them down quite a bit. I don't know if you have more or not, but I think it's just less surface to cover. Okay, so that is it, my friends. I am going to go start on my own laundry, and I will talk to you next time. So take care. Bye.